Welcome back. This is part of my leftover series. It's about, I make digital junk journal kits and I print them all and I make wonderful things. And then I have all these papers left over. And so they sit there and then I go, you should make something else. That's what we're going to do today. Which kit are we going to use? I just want to play more with my Renaissance Reverie kit. This came out about 2 months ago. This was what I made initially with the kit, and I love it, and I'm really happy with it, but I want to make something else today. So this one is a file folder and made into a quad, right? Not a trifold, a quad, four-fold. And I put lots of the faith ephemera, so I turned it into a faith kit. And there's a whole video on how I made this if you want to go watch it. It was, I love using file folders. That's probably my number one thing, that I love. So that's the original kit. And look at this. Look at all these papers I have left. This thing is so full. So then I thought about, you know what? I feel like playing with envelopes again. So we just made this one. This is a secondary leftover part from the Mercy Triumph series. And I used a little mini magnet to close this one up. So this was 4 envelopes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we left the pointy part to be like the close, right? No, it goes like that. Yep, goes just like that, Dan. Hold on. I'll get it. Folded it all the way up and it closed. And I think that looks really good. And then this is another one that I did a while ago. This is made from my, I did a whole series on collage kits. And so everything is collaged like that. And it's just a wonderful series. So go look at those kits in my shop. And so this was 1, 2, 3, only 3 envelopes, right? And then I decided to use some vellum because I have so much of it. And it just makes the coolest pockets, doesn't it? Because you can kind of see through. So this one I made about peace. This was all leftover things about peace, right? Things that I had left over too, okay? So what am I thinking about today? Well, when I pulled out my envelopes and some other stuff that I have, I found this giant, somebody must have just given me this big vellum envelope. And I thought, wow, wouldn't that be cool to be a cover because you could see through it? And then where'd you get this piece, Diane? That's a really good question. This came out of some book. This is a picture of Jesus when he ascended, right, into heaven after he was crucified on the cross. And it's really, this is definitely from a book because this is old book pages. So I trimmed it down because it was bigger. And I put it in the envelope. And I thought, okay, well, what if we did, that is the cover, right? So if that's my cover, then I went and grabbed some big envelopes that I have. Now, these are not junk in the sense of somebody gave them to me. These are, I went and bought a stack of probably 50 of these envelopes. I think these are 5 by 7s. Let's see, pretty sure. 5.5 by 7.5. So they're 5 by 7.5. I think they call this a invitation envelope or something like that. Okay, so I grabbed 3 of them. So if we put these 2 together, right? Let's put those 2 together. So we could attach that on there. Now it's going to be a little bit smaller, but who cares? And then, so I could just do 1, 2, and then let's have 3, right? So what if we put this one on there? So then we'd have a tuck here, we'd have a tuck there. So then this would fold over there, that would be attached over there, and then this would come over here. That looks kind of fun, doesn't it? Okay, that's what we're gonna do. The part that I like about this leftover series is that I do not overthink stuff. When I do my faith windows, to be honest, I spend a lot of time as I make the digital kit. What kind of a junk journal are we going to make with this kit? And then I have to design the kit, so that takes me another hour or 2, and then I make the kit on video, and I usually do like 5 videos for every Faith Windows kit. But this one, this leftover, it's kind of fun for me because I just go back through all my stuff that's left over, and I'm sitting here and I'm gonna you know, record me just playing around, okay? So what I'm thinking is before I would glue this down, wait, where'd that come from, Diane? Yeah, they're underneath, that's why. Before I glue anything together or glue it down, why don't we cover it? It would just make so much more sense. Oh, I see what I did. No, I was having this there, and then this was going to be over here. Okay, why is that important? It's not really important at all. We know that's our cover, so we'll set that aside. And then those come in there. Okay, so let's pick out some pages. Now, I printed a lot of this on cardstock, which will make this a really nice little envelope journal, even though these envelopes are actually heavyweight. So let's get out my stack of papers. Let's move those over there. And I made this page, which I never have done this before, but I saw some other digital creator do this. She took each page that was in the digital kit and just put it all on one sheet. Now, this didn't print really well, but I'm not throwing it away. I'm going to use it because I thought it would make a really fun, like, collage, right? So that's a possibility. What's this paper left? You know, that would look good. That's, so we already got a really nice piece that's cut up from something else. And, wow, I used really heavyweight paper. This might be fun. What if this is part of the same paper, I can tell you, the same design. So I'm gonna set that one aside. But I kind of like this because these graphics that I'm showing you, they're actually, I found these in Creative Commons, which you're allowed to download and use. And they are depicting things from the Bible, okay? So let's go find some more stuff that I have in here. And so we're doing the Ascension on the cover. My other little one, I already used that, so I don't want to use that one again. Let's see. I think I want some smaller designs to go in there. That's a possibility. Okay, what would go with that? Oh, here's another one. Again, that is, these are from handwritten Bibles, okay? So that's another one that we've got. And then I got all the Michelangelo drawing things, which I'm allowed to use because those are in the, you know, no copyright stuff. So those work. See, here's another one. And of course, do I remember exactly who they were? No, I have to go back and look them up of who it is. And then this is the Bible that's online that I can print this also. We could put that in there. Okay, this is going to be tough, actually, because I've got so many great pages. And in this kit, there's horizontal and there's vertical pages, okay? So if you wanted to do a tall, skinny, look, you just fold that in half. That's 2 pages, right? And look how it'd make a great tall, skinny page, right? That's why a lot of these are like that. But we're not making tall, skinny right now. So let's set aside the tall, skinny. We'll go to the horizontal pages. That one's going to go over there. Let's see. I guess I should have done this before I started filming, huh? You know what? I'm going to stop this for a moment. I'm going to go pick the papers because I just want you to see how we're going to put this together versus watching me go through all these papers. Okay, finally sorted through. And after I looked at all the pages, I figured out that I want to keep like a warm color theme going through here because I have parts of those pages are more grayed out and I didn't want to flip to there. And then I thought that this would be perfect to be on these 2 envelopes because it already coordinates. So that's what we're going to do on that one. And then on this one, I might do that, but then you get that piece. Actually, that would work. Or we could do it this way. Does that make sense? We're going to cut a lot of it off. So, okay. And then those 2 are going to be for the back. So how do I do this? I am a glue person. I glue and then I cut, in case you haven't heard me say that. I say it all the time. But this, before I start gluing, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to trim this because there's a certain way I want it to be on the envelopes, right? Okay, so that part up there works good. Let's just slide it over and it would be there. And then it's gonna come over to right there to be in the very middle. Okay, so where's my little cutter? Here it is. So have you ever misplaced something in your studio? I was supposed to be making this video 2 hours ago, and I decided, yeah, I'm gonna do an envelope, and oh yeah, I just did that that one that I showed you in the beginning, and then because I saw that I had a note, and then I couldn't find it. I tore apart everything. I'm like, where did I set this? This is insane. Diane, where did you put it? I could not find it. I could not find it. I was getting so frustrated because, you know, I'm going to run out of light. I don't use artificial light at all to video because I live in Florida and it's always sunny. And I have a 3-window, you can't see. I'll have to take a picture one day and show you a bay window that I'm in front of. Okay, and so I always have perfect light. So that piece is that. That worked well. Okay, so now we're going to come over here. That covers there. We're going to cover that too. Wait, what did I just do here? So how far over did I go? So I think we'll just put a loop. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I went to the edge. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Anyway, I finally was giving up. I'm going, just forget it, Diane. You can't find it. I don't know what I did with it. And I moved my cutter, and it was right underneath the cutter. If you don't think I was like super frustrated, I guess I should say, well, you should be happy, Diane, because you just kind of cleaned up stuff and reorganized. But that was not what I was planning on doing. Does that happen to you? Oh my gosh, that was so frustrating. So I found it, and now I'm making the video, and hopefully I will have enough light for today. And this one is slightly crooked, so let's just give it a little bit that way, and then let's give it this way. But as I mentioned, I enjoy my leftover series. I think what was happening to me, why I started to do this, is because I was getting burnt out. I do one faith window a month, one faith window kit a month. And while I'm very happy, I love them. Like I said, you really don't know how much work I put into it. First of all, I have to think about, pray about, and come up with, what's my topic going to be, right? Then I have to go do research. Well, what are the verses that are really good for us to go deeper? Then I have to write the Bible study. Okay, so I've done all that before I even started making a digital kit. And then once I do all that, I've started doing something new, which has been really, oh, I'm supposed to punch, hold on, I'm talking to you. I started doing something new, which I'm really excited about. I use AI to ask a question because I don't know how else I would find it out. I asked the question, what are the colors that represent that biblical principle that we're talking about? And so I usually get like 4 or 5 color schemes. And then I look at that list and I go, well, okay, I just did blue, I just did this, I just did that. So which color scheme am I going to go with, right? And so then I have to decide my color scheme. And then I have to decide, well, what kind of style am I going for? Is it going to be contemporary? Is it going to be collage? It's going to be, you know, I got into this medieval Renaissance stuff, which is cool. And so then I have to decide all that. And then the other thing I've asked AI for, which I really enjoy because it gives me a whole nother perspective. What are the animals or birds? Oh, here we go again. I didn't punch that. What are the animals or birds that, again, represent that topic? And so then I get a list. And, you know, some of the animals are going to be, you know, a lion, a dove, you know, typical thing. And then I have to decide, well, how could I incorporate that into my kit? And of course, I didn't do any kind of edging. Okay, let's go backwards, Diane. Anyway, I'm just kind of sharing my process of how I make my kits. So then I think about, like I said, what would the papers look like? Where am I going to get pictures? You know, can I go into the Creative Commons and find pictures of certain things? And most of the time I can, so that works out good. So I'm using authentic pieces in my kits. And then I start creating the digital kit. So you can just tell that took me a couple hours, what I just talked about, right? And then I start creating the kit. So there's a lot that goes into it. Anyway, so doing all that, and like I said, having one a month, and then we did the Junk Journal July. I did that with Debbie, and let's see, I don't really need to open that up. And so we were doing all that, and I just, like I said, I think I started to get burnt out. I really do think I was getting burnt out. So I'm glad. Of course, now I'm trying to do this when I can't see it. So I'm glad I came up with, I just want to make a video. I just want to sit here and make something without having a big old plan. So that started my leftover series. And then the other thing is I was again organizing and going, oh my gosh, I put so much in my kits. If you have not bought my kits, you need to look at them. There's like 30, 40 pages in there. And there's no way you're ever going to use all of that in one kit. That's like, would be almost impossible, to be honest, okay? And so there's always leftovers. Let's open that up just a tad. There we go. Okay, now that's working. That's looking better. Let's get that edged, and we've got that edged. Okay, now we wanted to add this one on. So I can go ahead and use the envelope that way. All right, I'm just gonna leave a hair, just a hair, so that it has room to close. There we go. See, if you leave just that hair, then you're okie dokie. And then I said I wanted to use, do we want that? No, I think I want this. I think this actually might look really cool right there. Okay, if we put that about right there. So this is when I do some cutting. I normally just glue and then cut. But because there's specific pieces, designs in my papers that I'm trying to capture, I almost have to do this. Otherwise, if I put it just down at the end, it's not going to be in the middle. And then anyway, that's why I'm saying I'm doing some trimming that like I said, you normally don't see me do this kind of trimming first. Okay, so let's trim this there. Okay, that should work. And then we're going to trim this part. So this is the 5th video, I think, in my series. And of course, I just cut off the mark. Yes, you did. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Anyway, have you gone back and pulled out, whether you bought my digital kits or somebody else's, gone back and pulled them out and decided, oh, let me make something else with them? Have I inspired you, maybe? So this one should be, those are not the same. I should have cut them both at the same time, but I didn't, so you know what, it's okay. So there's my mark there, and there's the mark right there for my hole punch. Can I see it? Yes, I can. Okay. Let's see, now I gotta line it up. Move it back, move it back. Okay, that should work. And then edge it before you glue it, Diane. So if you've gone back and, used digital leftover kits, the other person that gives you a lot of stuff, because I've bought some of her kits, is the Junk Journal Studio. She has so much stuff in hers. I think I've just bought the ephemera kits, but there's a ton of stuff in her ephemera kits. Again, enough for quite a few projects. And I think that's why you know, I used to be a scrapbooker, and you would buy scrapbook paper, right? Remember, we'd go get them, and we'd get so excited. Oh, look at this beautiful paper. And then, you know, you only had 2 sheets of each design. And so then if you used it, and then later on you'd be like, oh, that would have been the perfect, and you didn't have it because, okay, it was scrapbook paper, printed paper. And now you're kind of like, yep, that's the end of that. I won't be doing that anymore. That's what I think I really enjoy about digitals, and why I decided to start using digitals almost 2 years ago. It was because, wait, I can print this. How many times can I? Oh, I can print it as many times as I want. Print it on different pieces of paper, so you get totally different effects. Okay, so that's going to be on there, and then we'll put that one down. Okay, so let's now, we're going to do this one and this one. And this one we're not, so we're going to do these 2. And what I thought about was, do I want a pocket? That's the question, Diane. Do you want a pocket? I kind of like, oh, wait. So we're doing 2, and it's just wide enough that, yes, we could do like I just did. What if I did that and used both of these on here? Okay, I think that's the way to go, Diane. That is the way to go. Okay, so if we're going to put that at the top, then that means we are going to trim it like right there. And then, so that one will be on there. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting my head in the way. I apologize. Do I need to really trim this? No, I can just make it one piece. Why don't I just make it one piece? And do I need to trim it? No, I'll just trim it this way, and then I'll trim that. I think that'll work better. And of course, I got to get my big punch out. Anyway, so that's why I love digital kits. So my suggestion, if you are new to digital kits, is I go ahead and I print out all the pages. And depends on the design, what kind of paper that I use. And in my kits, I usually tell you, like, these are what I call a soft, muted design. So you can just use 24-pound paper. You don't have to use any matte photo paper with that design at all, okay? But then there's some other of my kits that are very vibrant and crisp and clear. Those are the ones that you will see in my notes. I will say, print this. If you want it to look the way I'm showing you, you want to print it on a matte photo paper. And of course, my favorite matte photo paper is Koala brand because it's double-sided. Why do you want a double-sided paper? Is because if you want to make a signature, and if you've double printed it, then when you fold it over, you've already got your design on the back. See, that's why you want to do that. So we'll trim this off. And in my Amazon store, of which the link is in the description, remember, you have to hit more to go see what I have. More on the title on a YouTube channel, okay? Oh, I'm happy with that. Look, all my colors really are coordinating. Yes, pretty, pretty, pretty. Oops, what did I do there, Diane? Oops, that's a little bit over too far. Okay, let's get that. Now I use, this is scorched timber. And I like scorched timber because it's dark. It actually it edges things, okay? So if you're, again, new and you don't know, oh, that's not glued down, Diane. Okay, a lot of people use vintage photo, but vintage photo has a lot of pink in it that I personally don't really like. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put some glitter glue on this one, right? Because this is gonna fold over. Yeah, this needs to be down there. Anyway, I don't really like vintage photo. And when Scorched Timber came out, I was very happy with it because it's a black brown. And so if you're going to edge, I want to see the edge. Some people don't edge. but I will tell you from an art perspective, why do I edge? Because it actually creates a frame for your eye. So when your eye is looking at something, it's being drawn into the middle. And what we're trying to accomplish is on a page, right? You know, we're drawing our eye into, maybe I'm going to have pockets here or something like that, okay? And so I want that to I'm directing your eye is what you're doing when you are using a darker kind of a ink for edging, okay? Now I should not have picked that up because I just glued it, but that'll work. Okie doke. Now let's go back over here. So this comes over here, and then this is going to go on there. And now we'll cover that. And so that's going to be like this. This is going to come all the way in. And then that's going to be our cover. Ooh, I love this. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to glue this onto here first, and then we're going to cover that back piece. Okay, so I'm going to put my glue. So I think somebody gave me this envelope. I don't know where this envelope came. I don't have a whole bunch of them, so that's why I say I think somebody gave it to me. But vellum envelopes are awesome. Now, if you don't have vellum envelopes, can you make one? Yes, if you have a piece of vellum paper. Just go to YouTube and look it up. People show you how to make an envelope. It's just about, you know, you put it on the square and then you flip it up, and that's all. It's very simple, actually. Okay, so now we've got this piece left as our back. Oh, I like that. Or should we put just the words? No, I like the design on the back. Let's do that. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to mark it there. Oh, Lexi's asleep. Do you hear her making noises in her sleep? Okay, let's do that. And then we will have the base all done. And I'll probably turn the camera off, go finish it, and then you'll get to see it. Because I've been sitting here chatting away to you. And I don't think I need it would help if you took the lid off, Diane. I don't think I need a pocket. I'm not going to even bother doing a pocket. We'll just put a pocket on it. We'll put a pocket on top. Okie doke. So I hope you're doing our Truth Tuesdays project with us. I am so grateful and thankful for quite a few things. Let me tell you what I'm grateful and thankful for. I'm grateful and thankful that God hooked Debbie from Pouring My Art After the Lord and myself up. You know, he arranged us. Again, if you don't know, she's in Canada and I'm in Florida, so we're a jillion miles away from each other, right? And we did the Faith Journal July, which was awesome. I loved collaborating with her. And then this whole Truth Project was just a big thing on my heart. And I said to Debbie, let's do something with that. And so we just finished our third one, and it's been phenomenal. And the response by you all has been excellent. So if you're not involved in that and you want to look at what is biblical truth compared to what our culture is telling us, that's the series for you. Okay, I am going to stop because you saw how we put this all together. And I'm going to go ahead and finish it out, and then I'll be back. It is finished. I am happy with this. I'm so glad that as looking through my stash for my envelopes, I found this vellum envelope because that just turned out like perfect. And then I just found this when I did my Resurrection Hope faith window. I still have this left over. So let me show you what I've done. So so I used my Renaissance Reverie paper kit, right? And then I have a Divine Details kit number 3, which is all this stuff. And basically, it is all the ephemera from the medieval Renaissance time. And that's what's in my little package here. So I went through all this, and that's where I got the ephemera to put into my journal. So obviously, I've decided this was about the ascension, the resurrection of Jesus, right? And because I had that fun, cool piece of paper. So if you find a piece of paper from any kind of a faith-based book and use that in there, you can do that. Or you could use one of my pages, wouldn't matter. So I put the cross on there with some of that, you know, that, what is this cloth called? And then I made a side pocket, and we put in Christ alone, because our salvation is only in Christ alone because of his resurrection, correct? And then this is in that Divine Details kit. This is a picture of what is it called? The Annunciation, yes. And then there was this tag in there too, so I just put that on there. And then let's open it this way. And then I took one of the pieces of paper in the kit that is from that 1600 Bible. Here's another piece from the Divine Details 3, which is Jesus on the cross, because this is all about our salvation, resurrection. And then put just a little piece of note paper in there. Somebody could take notes. And then there's another little note thing. And then I put the J for Jesus, because that's what this is all about, right? I could have put R now that I just thought about it. I could have put R for resurrection. Then on this, I just love this design. I didn't really want to add anything. You can barely see, but this is Calvary with the 3 crosses on it. Made this pocket. Again, this is a piece from this extra piece of paper. And in this pocket, I put that he died on the cross for us because of love, right? And then there's just a really pretty piece. Again, these are all from the Divine Details number 3 kit. And then just some more, like little tags and things like that. So again, as I've mentioned before, as I'm making these leftovers, these are perfect opportunities for you to make something to share with somebody, to share a gift of faith. This could be a birthday card, write a note and stick it in there. Then I put a piece of this paper, I cut that out, that design, and then just put a tab on it, put another piece of some note paper in that pocket. So if you give this as a gift to someone, like I said, you could write them a note, you could write a happy birthday, and then say, if you're interested in looking up stuff. And then I put another, this is a piece of the paper from this kit, and I just cut it down to like a note card size. Okay, so that one's there. And then what do we have on this one? Again, this is actually not from this kit. This is some leftover paper from a kit that I have where I did, it's all like ledger paper. It's just background pages, okay? And I just made a tag for that and put that in there. So that flips over like that. That flips over there. We've got that. And then on the very back, again, from the Divine Details number 3, and we just put the cross because that's what this is all about. But as I mentioned, I just found those words. I'm thinking I want to put resurrection. And so here's the fun part. When you print my Bible verses and stuff, I always give you extra word art. So this was left over. I just didn't use it when I made the original kit. So now, see, it's already printed. There we go. Perfect, because that's what this is about. Yes, we'll save this for next time for something else. So it's all about the resurrection. Oh, there was resurrection hope, another one. And there is my envelope journal, just like I did the Mercy Triumphs. I didn't feel like we needed to close this because it just naturally lays flat like these two. So here's 3 envelope mini journals that make excellent gifts, or if you want to just ease somebody in and maybe doing a Bible study in a junk journal, this is an opportunity. I hope that you will like this video. I hope you will leave a comment. Tell me if I've inspired you to use your leftovers and create little junk journals that can be gifts or mini Bible studies and things like that. I hope that you're subscribed to my channel. There's always good things coming out. My leftover series, I want to at least make 1 video a week. So this is the video for this week, and I'll do some more. And hopefully you're part of our Truth Tuesdays project. Please make sure that you join our if you're looking to be in a Facebook group that is all about expressing our faith in our creativity, that's my Rooted in Christ Creative Community Facebook, and the link is in the description. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until the next project in our leftover series.